A husband got revenge on his lover and his wife for cheating and disrespecting him. "You should do something about your wife," said the pretty blonde sitting across from me at lunch. "I know," I said, taking a bite out of my salad. "You know she's sleeping with Ralph again, right?" she asked. By she, in this case, she meant April, my sister-in-law, who worked in my department. Ralph was not only my wife's current lover, but also my boss. As you may have guessed, this was not the first affair between Ralph and my wife. The last time I caught them doing it was during a company Christmas party. I'd nearly killed the asshole then and backed off, kicking Marcia to the curb when she swore it wouldn't happen again. "It's just sex, Larry. It doesn't mean anything," she cried as we drove home. "I still love you." Like an idiot, I believed her and kept putting up with it, thinking we could work it out with counseling, and it seemed to work for a few months. But gradually things went back to normal. You know what it's like. Girls' night out, Marcia staying out late, coming home smelling of stale cigarettes, beer, and sex. And yet she refuses me even the slightest caress. And me, you ask, who am I? My name is Larry Reynolds, chief engineer for a technical company specializing in surveillance equipment. My responsibilities included overseeing the development of new devices such as internet-enabled micro cameras and the like. Our work was mostly classified and quite complex. I met and married Marcia right out of college. There was something about her blonde hair, deep blue eyes, and stunning body that made me fall in love with her at first sight. She also had a playful personality and was always open to sex. For the first couple years, everything was great. We made love like rabbits and couldn't have been happier with each other. Then I got promoted to my current position and everything went away. After my promotion, we decided that I was making enough so she wouldn't have to work. So we bought a big house and got ready to expand our family. Unfortunately, Ralph, my new boss, was a real bore who made my life hell by making me work up to 60 hours a week. Worse, he was an arrogant, self-righteous asshole who thought he was God's gift to women. I heard from several of my female co-workers at work about his actions, and wondered why no one had filed a sexual harassment report against him. Then there was that Christmas party. Marcia wore a tiny dress and Ralph caught on almost immediately, targeting her like a guided cruise missile. A couple hours after the party, I started looking for Marcia, but couldn't find her. Someone told me that they thought Marcia and Ralph had been seen heading to the conference room. After a half hour of searching, I found them. Marcia was lying on the table having sex with Ralph. He was just staring at me when I walked in. "Get out of here, asshole. I'm almost done. Then you can take her home," he said with a smirk. Marcia just smiled at me, apparently not caring that she had just been caught in the act. "Get dressed, cheater. We're leaving," I said to Marcia as I headed for the exit. Naturally, there was a cold atmosphere at home for a while longer. The next day, Ralph cornered me at work and threatened to fire me if I said anything to human resources. I didn't want to jeopardize my job, so I didn't react the way I wanted to. But that didn't mean I didn't do anything. "So, what are you going to do?" asked April, forcing me back to my current reality. "Are you going to divorce her? And what are you going to do about Ralph? Are you going to let them keep cuckolding you like this? You know people are starting to notice that." "Yeah, I know what people are saying," I said. "Unfortunately, divorce is out of the question. As much as I'd like to divorce her, the truth is I'd lose everything, including the house, and end up paying for her to continue cheating on me with Ralph." "That leaves no other options," April said. She was right. I could kill her. I'd even considered killing her. But that would only result in me going to jail for life. Or worse. Killing her was out of the question. "Whatever you do, you have to do it fast," April said. "I'm not covering for her anymore, and I'm sick of hearing her talk about how good she is with Ralph. God, this is going to kill our ancestors. They think the sun rises and sets in her." I was tired of Marcia's ramblings, too. I assured April before we finished lunch that I had it all sorted out and would deal with her soon. No one knew that for the past few months I'd been plotting my revenge, both on Marcia and Ralph, in case things went south again. Thanks to my work, I was able to get my hands on top-of-the-line surveillance equipment, high-definition cameras throughout the house, internet-controlled, GPS units on her car, cameras built into the dashboard, and microphones in her purse. Yes, I had it all covered, and it paid off. The evidence was pretty obvious. Ralph and Marcia met almost every day, sometimes in our marital bed, sometimes in hotels around town. It was pretty clear that they were in a long-term relationship and disrespected me at every opportunity. In one conversation, for example, their desire for Marcia to get pregnant by Ralph and pass the child off as mine was voiced, even forcing me to pay for her medical expenses. I couldn't help but wonder what Ralph's wife would think of that. I also wondered what upper management would think about a middle manager blatantly violating their moral code. I also took the time to get in shape. I had gotten a little pot-bellied after being discharged from the Marines, so I decided to join a gym and take karate lessons to sharpen my fighting skills. If Ralph wants to fight, he'll be in for a surprise. But what about Marcia? There's no way I'd let her off the hook, and I'd clearly be on the losing end of the divorce. That's where Jake came in. I met him at the gym, and later we got to talking over a beer at a bar nearby. As it turned out, Jake was an ex-con with some questionable connections. After letting me cry into my beer, the big man put his arm around my shoulders. "Look, kid, this bullying is killing you. I know how you feel, trust me. Killing it won't help. Trust me, I know firsthand," he said. "So what am I supposed to do? I can't kill her, I can't divorce her, and I certainly can't live with her." "Tell you what, let me make some calls. I've got some ideas that might work and you don't need or want to know the details," he said. "Thanks, man," I said. We spent the rest of the night at the bar watching the game over beers. Marcia threw a tantrum when I staggered back into the house after midnight, but I wasn't in the mood to listen to her nastiness. "Where have you been, asshole? You're drunk!" she yelled. "You're a cheater," I yelled back. "After all the abuse you put me through, I deserve a night out with my friends. So get the fuck off me." Marcia jumped back. I'd never spoken to her like that before. She backed off and didn't say anything else for the rest of the evening. The next day, Marcia had one of her late nights. She claimed to have been with the girls, but I knew better. She smelled like sex, and it was obvious that she had had sex with Ralph. She undressed, climbed into bed, and grabbed my hand, placing it on her body. "Make love to me," she whispered. I pushed her away. "God, you stink," I said, "and go take a shower. You stink." "Go away," she said, turning away. I kicked her out of bed and told her that if she insisted on smelling like a street cheater, let her sleep in the guest bedroom. A couple days later, Jake sent me a text saying, "Africa is calling." Then he added, "Call if you want to make a reservation." "Got it. Thanks," I replied. I had my suspicions, but I didn't say anything. Later, I got a call at work. It was Marcia. "Can you come home early today?" she asked. "I have a surprise for you." "Yeah, I guess so," I said. "Ralph wasn't here today, so I can probably leave a little early. What do you have in mind?" "Well, I realized that I've been kind of a jerk to you lately, and I'd like to do something to make up for it," she said. "Maybe a romantic weekend away?" "Sounds good," I said. "I'll see you this afternoon." In fact, I'd already seen her, thanks to my internet-enabled cameras. I'd also seen Ralph having sex with her in our bed. Again. Showtime, I thought. I printed out the time-stamped footage from the video I had and went to HR. I also sent an email to Dave Matthews, our CEO, and a few elected board members. I also sent a copy to Ralph's wife. Eileen Jacobs, Director of Human Resources, was not pleased with my appearance. I made it unequivocally clear to her that I was filing a formal complaint against Ralph, and if his actions were not immediately stopped, I would take legal action against the company. I then headed over to Dave's office. I walked right past his assistant, who insisted I wait. "I'm going to see Mr. Matthews right now," I said as I stormed into his office. Dave Matthews was a big man, but he knew I had him and the company in check. "I want that asshole fired," I said. If he's not fired, I'll sue. Period. End of sentence. Consider it done, he said. I thanked him and walked out. I got home about an hour later, noticing that Ralph's red Ferrari was still parked in our driveway. I pulled into the garage and got my Glock holstered from the glove compartment, just in case I needed it. Securing the gun on my belt, I stepped inside. Ralph was sitting on the couch drinking one of my beers. As always, he had a smirk on his face. It took everything I had to shoot that smirk through the wall. Marcia came down the stairs, obviously from our bedroom. She was completely unclothed. "Surprise," she said, smiling. "What's all this nonsense?" I asked, as if I didn't already know. "I'm going to take a romantic vacation with Ralph for a few days, honey," she said. "And yes, I'm leaving just like that. Don't worry, it has nothing to do with you, and no, I don't love him. I'm in love with you. It's just sex, right? I just want to spend some time with a real man. Then I'll come back and we'll pick up where we left off. Maybe we can even have a baby and put all this behind us." "I don't think so," I told her, taking her left hand. I yanked the rings off her, which made Ralph get up off the couch. "Get your hands off her," he said, swinging at my head. Wrong move. I let him land a glancing blow to the head to claim self-defense, then let him do it. A punch to the throat, followed by several leg kicks to the groin. A knee accidentally hit him in the nose as he doubled over. I managed to kick and stomp on his balls several times as he lay on the floor. Marcia was screaming during the whole incident. I grabbed Ralph by the hair and put the barrel of the Glock to his mouth, letting him know that he was this close to death. His eyes went wide as he undoubtedly saw the blinding hatred in mine. "Get out of my house and stay away from me and my wife," I told him. "And if you ever divorce me again, I'll kill you. Understand, asshole?" He nodded his head, and I dragged him by the hair to the door and literally kicked him out of the house. He got to his Ferrari and drove off. I turned to Marcia, who was now sobbing on the floor. "Shut up, you worthless, cheating bitch," I told her. She looked at me with terror in her eyes. "So you want a sex party, huh?" I asked. "I think I can arrange that." I pulled out my phone and called Jake. "When and where?" I asked. He sent me the address, which turned out to be a dock on the east side of town. "Come on, shiznit," I said to Marcia, grabbing her hand. "There's a great parking lot waiting for you." "What are you talking about, Larry?" she screamed. "Please don't do anything to me. It was just sex, and I really love you. It didn't mean anything." "Close! Close! Roth!" I yelled. "I've had enough of you, your lies, cheating, and disrespect. It's over. Now!" "You're going to kill me?" she sobbed, looking at the Glock in my hand. "No, you stupid fool. It's illegal. I've got something better. And I think you might even like it," I said sarcastically. "At least let me get dressed," she begged. "No," I said. "You were going to walk out of this house with no clothes on with Ralph, so you can come with me as such. Besides, you won't need clothes where you're going." "Where are you taking me?" she asked. "To your walk, dear," I said, dragging her to my car and throwing her in the front seat. "And so you don't get any stupid ideas," I added, using the Glock for emphasis. About 30 minutes later, I pulled up to the address Jake had given me. There was an old, rusty steamboat standing at the dock. Several crew members watched as Jake and another large man in a captain's cap approached the car. Marcia tried to cover her nakedness as Jake opened the door for her. "Don't worry, miss, there's no need to cover up here," the man in the hat said. "Everyone here will get to know you very well before you reach your destination," he added, laughing. Marcia looked at me in horror. "What are you doing?" she asked. "Are you really giving me to them? And where am I going?" "No, you cheater," I said. "You gave yourself away a long time ago. I don't know where you'll end up, and I don't care anymore, but I suspect there'll be a lot of sex and drugs. Maybe in a few months you'll forget about me and Ralph and your boring housewife life. I know I'll forget about you." "Besides," I added, "it's just sex, right?" Eventually, Ralph was fired, and his wife brought him out in the divorce. He didn't take it too well and decided to get back at me. I happened to be in the house when he broke in, and I just happened to have my Glock. The 6 bullets I put in his chest ensured that he would never break into my house again. The police seemed to agree. I never found out exactly where Marcia ended up, but I did read a story about a steamship that had been hijacked by Somali pirates off the coast of Africa. According to the story, the authorities found the entire crew, including a blonde American woman, dead, all of them victims of the pirates. And me? Well, April spent a lot of time comforting me. We spent a lot of time together and eventually got married. Now we're expecting our 3rd child. Life is good. The end? Subscribe to my channel? Thank you.